What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the Activision Blizzard games that are coming to Game Pass. The news story that came out today, in fact, actually came from Activision Blizzard themselves, but Jez Corden also chimed in to talk about actually things are coming sooner than we think they are. So we're going to read both news stories, both kind of quotes from these people, and then we'll talk about it. But as I've said before, let's get these freaking Transformers games, right? Raise your hand, leave me a like if you're with me. We need Transformers, Fall of Cybertron, War of Cybertron. We need those on there. They need to be brought back from the dead. I personally prefer there to be more of them, but let's bring back the Prototype series. Let's bring back StarCraft, all the stuff that we've made individual videos on this channel. But this kind of came as a shock. I don't think people expected them to actually tweet this. Here's the tweet from Activision Blizzard. It's awesome to see anticipation building for Modern Warfare 3. As we continue to work towards regulatory approval of the Microsoft deal, we've been getting some questions whether our upcoming and recently launched games will be available on Game Pass. While we do not have plans to put Modern Warfare 3 or Diablo 4 into Game Pass this year, once the deal closes, we expect to start working with Xbox to bring our titles to more players around the world, the age-old line, and we anticipate that we would begin adding games into Game Pass sometime in the course of next year. Now, you might say, okay, fantastic, great, and we could talk about that. However, let's go to Jez Corden, who, again, talked about it actually being sooner. Our source indicates, which surprises nobody, that despite Activision's statement, which we just read, you can expect to see a bunch of Activision stuff hit Xbox Game Pass as soon as the deal is finalized. And then he asked, what would you like to see? In which I've left a comment there as well. The two Transformers games, I also quote tweeted the Activision Blizzard thing. So I gotta be honest, when he says surprising nobody, it kind of did surprise me because I saw the Activision Blizzard tweet first and I thought, yeah, that's believable because, you know, it seems like from the rumors and the news, this Friday the 13th, great day, right? And great for it to actually be a Friday. That might be the day. That might be the day where it's actually official, or maybe it's next week. It's very soon. I don't think we leave October without this being like officially official, right? So that's huge. That's massive. Well, good or bad, you can debate amongst yourselves, and certainly we've talked about that over the past freaking several years. Way too long of waiting on this. But I actually believe them because you think, okay, well, this is mid-October, and they do have COD, releasing, and I don't know who like organizes this stuff. Maybe they're busy, maybe they're not. I would buy it that they would say, next year. Let's worry about it next year. We got a lot of stuff, to figure out and to kind of complete this year. But then Jez, I trust the guy, so I really have no reason not to trust him, especially when it comes to his wheelhouse, right? Like he gets a lot of stuff right in this field. So I kind of believe him. And I guess the question would then be, well, what are these games, right? Because he talks about all these games that are going to be appearing. I feel like they'd be lower level. Now, honestly, I forget. You guys can let me know. I mentioned Prototype in terms of bringing back the franchise. Like, I'd love to see them remastered, or if we could get a 3 or a spiritual reboot or, something weird. I don't know if they're already on Game Pass. I haven't checked. So maybe something like that. What I'm thinking is like lower tier games, right? Maybe not the CODs of the world, Diablo. One thing I think would maybe come up in my community if people still even remember it, Crash Team Rumble, right? Like that came out in June, and Diablo, didn't that come out in June? It's been so long, and yet it hasn't really been long at all. But I think Crash makes sense to do it. Maybe, past Crash games, maybe like a Crash 4 comes out on it, or Spyro, or, things like that would immediately make its way. But again, I'm thinking like a lower tier, one tier down from COD and Diablo, which are titans, right? Massive games. The next tier down, which is maybe bringing those Transformers games back from the dead. I feel like that would almost take more work, though, right? Because we have the whole saga where they said, like, the files are missing, like they may have been deleted, and then they were like, no, they've been here this whole time. Like, that was just a lie. So we have that whole saga. If they're readily accessible, then I feel like putting those Transformers games make a lot of sense. But I feel like that's almost a bigger deal just because they're off of storefronts completely. You can't buy them. You can go on like the Xbox store right now and find them, but you can't actually purchase them. So I don't know if you would do that like right away. Day one, you would have the Transformers games. That seems like something where I'd want it, but it just doesn't seem kind of realistic. But it's exciting. It's exciting to think that, who knows, this Friday, next week, week after, we could just be getting, 15, let's say, Activision Blizzard, maybe the past CODs, right? Like maybe not the new one, but like the past years, or Diablo 3, Diablo 2 remastered remastered or was it a remake? Whatever the Diablo 2 thing was, that was like a year ago. You could do something like that. They have a lot to choose from, and if they wanted to do like a 10, 15 game, kind of like Avalanche, hey, here's a way of celebrating the deal go through, you could come up with that list, right? You could come up with a small list like that, and then you'd have the big ones like Diablo. And I think people have said that's why they didn't buy Diablo, is because they thought it would just come on Game Pass. You're right. You're definitely going to be right. That might still be next year. You might still have to wait on Diablo 4, but it's definitely going to happen. It's for sure going to happen. So let me know what you guys think. I know all I care about are those Transformers games, and I'm sorry about that, but I got to push my mindset, out into a video. It wouldn't be me if I didn't do that. But let me know what games you'd like to see on Game Pass from Activision Blizzard. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.